I took a PS2 and I turned it into a pedal board. And before you ask, no, the PlayStation 2 was not working when I decided to do this. And yes, I did take the excess parts and give them away. This video has no nutritional value whatsoever. Was completely made for fun. Is really weird, and I'm really still not quite sure why I did it. I guess just because I had the broken PS2 and a bunch of extra pedals, and I thought it would be funny to make it into a pedal board. So if you want to see a PS2 turned pedal board, be sure to stick around through the whole video. So from the top, I needed to figure out how I was going to take apart this old PS2, and I wanted to put the power supply right in this old memory slot. I was able to take off the top of it, then I was completely baffled. You can see here I was moving around the disc tray, which was loose. I decided just to start unscrewing the thing. There were tons of little screws hidden all over the place, but I managed to find most of them, even dropping a few in there. See here, I was messing with the fan. Some of these screws were really small. I finally got the disc tray off, and if you were wondering, this is what it looks like on the inside. Here's an up-close shot of what the sensor looks like on an old PS2. It is pretty cool, actually. I like that. From there, I could not for the life of me figure out how I was going to get this part off, the whole disc tray off itself. I was pulling it, trying to decipher the PS2, and I accidentally broke a little piece of the plastic, but it all worked out for the better because after that, I was actually able to remove this unit here, which allowed me to get the rest of the components out and unscrew the rest of it. Here's what the innards look like on the PlayStation 2, a lot of little components for some pretty complicated games back in the day. Here is the new old PlayStation 2 pedal board. The left side is going to contain the power supply and the right side is going to contain the power for the power supply. This is the pedal power that I'm using. This is the Voodoo Labs. It's made in USA piece. I can power up to 4 different pedals on this thing. I'm only going to be using 3, and the output on the right is for the 12-volt power to this. I originally thought that I was going to use a metal chassis here and try to give it some extra support, but unfortunately I was unable to figure out how I was going to mount that in there because I took everything out and then there was nothing to screw into the metal piece, and I didn't want little pieces of screw sticking up through the plastic. So now I finally have the shell for what is going to be my pedal board. An old PS2, you've done me well, but now it's time for bigger, better things. After all of this, there's only one screw left that is able to screw into the whole thing. So at the end, I'm going to either have to super glue it or figure something out. Here is the dual lock that I'm going to be using for all of my guitar pedals, and dual lock is absolutely awesome to use on your guitar pedals. I highly recommend it. I use it on all of mine. Here's the power for the Voodoo Labs. It's a tiny little fella. Here are the power cables for the pedals. And here are the little dual lock strips that come with the Voodoo Labs Pedal Power X4, a lot smaller for a lot smaller of a unit, I assume. Once I was able to remove the dual lock from the strip, I put a little piece on the inside where I was going to place the power supply very carefully and pressing down. Then I did another little strip just so it would be extra reinforced, not shaking at all, although dual lock is good like that. Then I put 2 little pieces on the bottom of my Voodoo Labs, which is something you should never do. Always use blue tape first. From there, I put the Voodoo Labs piece on the inside, and now it is secured properly. When I put on the top part of the PlayStation 2, it fits perfectly, and I was happy. Now it's time for the power itself that powers up the pedal power. This is what I'm talking about. Always use blue painter's tape because you will be able to remove dual lock later should you want to. Yeah, just like that, nice and easily. Then I put the dual lock on the blue tape, and then a piece of blue tape onto the PlayStation 2. And then I could put the other piece of dual lock on that blue tape. And when I stick them together, it pops right on, and if I ever wanted to take it off, I could. But this is really where this lives now. One of the cool things about the way this aligned is that the wire stuck right through this little piece of plastic, almost like the PS2 was meant to become a pedal board all along. And it fit perfectly. Time to screw it back on, make it nice and tight. And now we're going to add my first pedal, which is the Boss Tuner. It's a Wazacraft tuner, and yes, it's a good one. I recommend them. Put some blue tape on the bottom of this. Don't make the same mistake twice. And from there, we're gonna put some dual lock on the back of the blue tape. You guys know the drill by now. Dual lock right on top of the PlayStation 2, because I'm breaking the rule now. And then pop the pedal right on top there. Chosen next in line, I have the Boss SD1. It's the black version. I wonder if this one sounds any different than the other version. Probably not. Who knows? We're going to put the blue tape on the back and another piece of blue tape to keep it nice and safe. And then just a little piece of dual lock right on the back. Just like that. Now we're going to cover up that PlayStation 2 logo because we don't need that anymore. We're going to pop it right on there. The last pedal we're going to put on there is a delay. This is a Boss DD3, a classic. Some blue tape as before, and then the dual lock. Finally, this pedal board is nearly complete. We're going to pop a little piece right on that, and then we're going to connect the pedal. And the dual lock is so strong that if you flip the pedal board upside down, the pedals aren't going to come off. That's why I like it more than Velcro, by the way. Here are two little cables that I found. I think they were from like a George L kit or something. They aren't great cables by any means, but then again, this isn't a great pedal board. This was a terrible idea. I think you should just buy a regular pedal board. But they connect nonetheless, and they look really neat, so that's always a good plus. I mean, look at that. Came out perfectly. We're going to connect the next one, which is just a little bit longer, into the delay, and it fits perfectly. And it actually looks kind of slick, kind of cool. I like it a lot. This PS2 turn pedal board was absolutely perfect for keeping 3 Boss pedals on there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in and let's see if it works and see how it sounds. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you are interested in seeing more guitar related or audio related content, be sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up because it was really fun to make. I appreciate you so much. My name is Cliffhanger. I'll see you guys the next time.